Warning, this episode contains adult language, mature situations, reincarnated otaku fans, an optimistic J-idol with dreams of family, fangirl Isekai twin sister, the truth about their entertainment industry, manga news, and all set of mysterious twins. More like, share, subscribe, discretion is advised. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Spiraken Manga Review. I'm your host Zan, saying konnichiwa, aloha, bonjour, and what's up? Hope you're excited for another fun-filled, awesome podcast brought to you by www.spiraken.com. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, Stitcher, various other social media sites. Just type in SPIRAKN and guarantee you find us one way or the other. And also, if you're watching on YouTube, remember to like, share, and subscribe, and click on that bell for notification so you can hear when our new episodes are out. And with that in mind, let's actually get to it because this is my episode before Thanksgiving, so we're going to see how it all goes. I'm a little excited, a little worried. But you know what? I'm going to see how this is all going to go. So we are going to see how this review is. And if you remember from that last episode, I spun that one that only the Wheel of Manga. And it did tend to be that I was supposed to review a manga that I had already reviewed. So if you watched our last hidden episode, I revealed I had to respin because I kind of screwed up with Takana and Hana. And I respun a new manga. This one's a little bit different, a little unique. And, well, let's get to it. So with the second spinning, I'm spinning a unique manga, one that is very different and divisive, that was written by Aka Akasaka and illustrated by Mengo Yokoyari. This is published by Shueisha and brought over here to the United States by Yen Press imprint. It was released in Young Jump Comics, then released later in Weekly Jump Comics. The original run is 2010 to present with 126 chapters. There are 13 compiled volumes. The series is not complete yet, and it is a seinen series that is a drama, mystery, supernatural story that is known simply as, well, let's get to it. We're talking about Oshi no Ko. Now, if you have not heard of the phenomena of Oshi no Ko, a series where the first anime episode was an entire movie and actually covers the entire first volume of the manga, don't worry. This is a very different story that is just done in a way that's different because the story is, well, we have our an idol who is known as Ai Hoshino. She is popular, she is wonderful, she is amazing, and she's a 16-year-old who has her whole life going for her. Things are going great, and one person who is fascinated with her and following her is a OBGYN, a gynecologist, by the name of Goro. And Goro is someone who is obsessed with Ai. And at first you're like, wait a minute, why are you kind of creeping out on this girl who's obviously a teen girl? But it turns out he has a interesting reason for his logic. What happened was that several years back, about 4 years ago, he had a patient at the hospital he was training at who was a huge fan of Ai. And Serena, the young girl, wanted to live a wonderful life, wanted to be a model, and had such a fervor for life and a love of this person that he promised her that he would make sure that things are going to work out for her, that she's going to be great and wonderful. Unfortunately, well, as with any terminal patient, you can guess, Serena passed away at 13 years old. And because of that, Goro is keeping this spirit alive by loving what she loved and hoping that through some mystery that Serena will know about this. Also, Serena talked about the fact that when she dies, she wonders if she'd ever reincarnate as the child of an idol to have all the popularity and the skill and the talent. Because that's what she wants, because she hasn't been really living well. She's lived in a hospital her entire life, and she was not strong, wasn't coordinated, she'd fall a lot, and this is her thoughts, and this is what she wanted. So this is what Goro wants to do. He wants to make sure that this girl has his support because Serena can't do it. But he just got horrible news, horrific news. Turns out that Ai has taken hiatus, is going away. They don't know why, and everyone's freaking out. And for him, it's like, oh my God, my favorite actress is gone. What am I going to do? I don't have a life to live anymore. He's like, okay, this is terrible, but whatever. We're just going to deal with this. Until it turns out that he gets a new patient. The new patient is Ai Hoshino. And Ai is 3 weeks pregnant. And he is her OBGYN. And this is not good because, like I said, she's a 16-year-old J-idol. And this is a career-killing event because if she keeps the kids and they find out she's a parent, they're not going to want to listen to her anymore. You know, any J idol who's gotten married or changed their life and isn't this innocent paragon loses the attention of the fans. So what she's decided is she's going to keep the kids and keep them hidden while still being a J idol, kind of lying to the fans, because lying is the best way of telling love to people. That's what she believes. There's reasons for it, which I get into the manga. I'm not going to get into her whole psychological profile. It's actually fascinating. But because of this, he has to debate and wonder what he's going to do. Because he's like, listen, this could destroy your career, but we could see what we can do. And she's like, I want to keep these kids because I've never had a family before. And you know what? This will make me happy. I want to have both. I want to have the idol life and the happy life. And because of this sincere moment, Goro's like, you know what? I'm going to make sure that you can have this. I'm going to make sure your babies are delivered healthy, you're healthy, and you're going to have that life you want. And for the next several weeks and months, he ends up helping her, keeping in shape, learning all the poses, and ensuring that she's going to have a safe pregnancy throughout. And meanwhile, making sure that no one knows that she is there, and he's not going to reveal the secret to anybody. The night that she is going to give birth, he's like, listen, you're due today, but you're not ready. I'm going to go out. You have my phone. Page me when you're ready, and I will be there. I promise you I'm going to be there to deliver your babies. And he goes out, and a random guy says, hey, are you Ai Hoshino's doctor? And he's like, wait, first off, how do you know this? She's under an assumed name, and who are you? The guy immediately starts to run away. Goro goes after him because he knows this is probably a stan, a stalker fan, that's probably going to do something really rash. The only problem is that he doesn't realize that the stalker is going to kill him. And that's what happens. He ends up dying. He gets stabbed and killed. Our protagonist dies. And as he's dying, he's thinking about the fact that he promised Ai he's going to be there to help her and to motivate her and to make sure she gives birth to some good kids. And as he's dying, he remembers the conversation he had with Serena about reincarnation and being reborn. And he's like, I never really thought about it, but it'd be kind of interesting if that had happened. But it doesn't matter. I just want to make sure that Ai is safe. And as he dies, he closes his eyes and wakes up as one of the twins that Ai gives birth to. And so he has been reincarnated as the baby of the idol who's idolized, which is kind of funny. So he's got to deal with this. And he has all of his intelligence still, but he's still a baby. So it's kind of weird that has all the cognitive faculties of an adult, but he's still a baby and a little kid. And it turns out, he finds out that he's got to pretend to be a baby, but he can still relax and enjoy things while doing this. And as he is setting this up, trying to figure out what she's going to do and help out with the situation, he's observing what's going on. So what they said is, okay, you're twins. You can't say you have twins. We're going to say that these are the manager's kids, and if you have to go out with them, you're taking care of them for us. That's what you're going to say. And she immediately, when she comes back, she almost immediately blows. She says, well, you know, me and my my kittens, I adopted some kittens. And like, oh God, she's going to screw this up. But her presence, her stage presence and charisma win over the crowd. And as he's watching this, he sees the awesomeness that is this this J idol that he is enamored with, that's now his mom. And as he's watching, his sister yells at him and says, how come you didn't wake me up to watch the TV? It's my turn too. Because it turns out that his sister is a reincarnation as well and has the same cognitive functions and is a stalker girl. So he is now Aqua, or Aquamarine, and his sister is Ruby. The two Hoshino twins who are both reincarnation, and they're watching over this person. And Ruby is nuts. She's obsessed with watching her mom, being near her mom, hanging out with her mom, because this is her favorite person ever. And then when people insult her on Twitter, this baby is flame warring people, yelling at them, just like, you're a horrible horse, don't ever say that, blah, 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 blah. And this is the story of these two who have been reincarnated to watch over this girl as they grow up. But this is what you think. Because it turns out that as time goes on, well, a lot happens, but due to some revelations happening, Ai gets stabbed and dies. She is murdered. And unfortunately, this is a very traumatic situation because they are children. They're 3 and 4 years old. They've had 3 years of life with this wonderful person. And she gets killed by a Stan for unknown reasons. And as she's dying, she's able to actually tell the truth that she loves her kids. And this is traumatic and horrible. But this sets up the story itself, which is Ruby and Aquamarine trying to deal with the loss of their parent, and Aquamarine trying to get past the fact that he was murdered, and the lady that he promised to protect was murdered, and he is going to go get revenge by finding out who is the person who killed him, because the only person who knew where she lived, that she had kids, was the father who she was trying to get back in touch with. And they don't know who he is, so he's going to spend his life to be the best he could be, the best actor he could be, to get revenge on his dad, who probably killed his mom, and also the person who killed his mom, because it turns out the guy who did the stabbing killed himself, but we don't know if that's the same person who did kill Goro/Aqua. And this is the beginning of this really compelling story. It's about the entertainment industry, about supernatural elements where there's someone following them, all this craziness. There is more going on. There are so many heartfelt moments in this story. I'm not going to say any more because there's so much more that goes on in this, but I showed this to Greta. We read half of it, then we watched the episode. The episode is pretty much is an hour and 30 minutes of the entire first volume in a movie, which sets up everything, and it's so heartbreaking, and it's kind of glorious. And after the last couple of reincarnation fics we've had, the one where I was reincarnated as a girl, not that great. This is something completely different because, yes, he is a adult who's been reincarnated with the same memories, but he has a motivation of trying to solve his murder and someone else's murder. And also there's the whole thing of who is Ruby's reincarnation. There are hints of who she is. At times it goes towards it, then against it. We're not entirely sure. But it's the fact to find out. And honestly, because of the fact that this is about show business lies and a murder most foul, I have to give this our highest rating of really, really cool. Read this now. This is one of those mangas that is worth reading. It has something for everybody. And there's a lot of really fun shots in it. And there's some moments which are going to make you want to cry. Honestly. And some parts that are going to make you really laugh, especially because someone finds out that he could speak as a baby. And he's like, it's because I watch YouTube. That's why I can speak perfect Japanese grammar. And you're like, the guy's like, okay. Completely buys it, which is just, yeah, that does not work. That math does not set up there, you know? But those are my thoughts on this. So if you've read Oshi no Ko, what are your thoughts? Did you agree with it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Also, random question let me know. Email me, zanspiraken.com, or you can tweet me personally at Spiraken. And before I forget, let's get to the random question of the week. And that is going to be, have you watched the anime adaptation of Oshi no Ko? If you did, let me know. Email me, zanspiraken.com, or leave a comment down below. And with that in mind, let's actually get to the manga releases for the week. And this is a big one, a huge one. So let's get to it, shall we? So for this week, actually, ironically, we have Oshi no Ko Volume 4. The 4th volume of this series has been released yesterday. Then we have... Then we have 15 minutes before we really date Volume 1. This is a series which looks kind of intriguing. Don't know what it's about, but we'll see. Then we have 86, Volume 12, the light novel, Holy Blue Bullet. A Business Proposal, Volume 3. A Condition Called Love, Volume 5. Anti-Romance, Volume 2, the Special Edition. Associate Professor Akira Takutsuki's Conjecture, Volume 2. Banished from the Hero's Party, I Decide to Live a Quiet Life in the Countryside, Volume 6. Beauty and the Feast, Volume 11. Bungo Stray Dogs, Volume 23. Bungo Stray Dogs 1, Volume 6. The Name of the Night, Volume 3. Chi on the Movement of the Earth, the Omnibus, Volumes 1 and 2. Chitose in the Ramen Bottle, Volume 5. Chojin X, Volume 4. Dark Gatherings, Volume 4. Delinquent Daddy and Tender Teacher, Volume 2, Basking in Sunlight. A Need, Volume 1, the hardcover and the paperback. Fire Force, Omnibus 7, which is Volumes 19 to 21. Goblin Slayer, Volume 13. Heart Gear, Volume 2. Heaven's Official Blessing, Taiguan Chi Fu, Volume 8, Special Edition, Regular Edition, and the Barnes & Noble's Exclusive Edition. Higehiro, After Being Rejected, I Shaved and Took in a High School Runaway, Volume 5, the light novel. High School DxD, Volume 12, the light novel. Higurashi When They Cry Go, the comic anthology series. Honey Lemon Soda, Volume 4. Horror Collector, Volume 1, The Faceless Kid. I Kept Pushing the 100 Billion Year Button and Came Out on Top, Volume 4. Giving the Disgraced Lady Noble I Saved, A Crash Course in Naughtiness, Volume 2. I Am the Evil Lord of an Intergalactic Empire, the manga, Volume 3. Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon on the Side? Sword Oratory, Volume 21. Jujutsu Kaisen 21. Kiss the Scars of the Girl, Volume 1. Last Game, Volume 3, which that one I was surprised Volume 3 came out so soon. It's been being released really fast. Let This Grieving Soul Retire, Volume 7, the manga. Woe is the Weakling Who Leads the Strongest Party. Lonely Castle in the Mirror, Volume 1. Lord Hades' Ruthless Marriage, Volume 1. Love and Heart, Volume 9. Medika Kuroko is Impervious to My Charms, Volume 3. Mobile Suit Gundam Thunderbolt, Volume 20. This one, definitely worth checking out because I think it's a larger edition than usual. Modern Villainous, It's Not Easy Building a Corporate Empire Before the Crash, Volume 4. The Not So Wicked Stepmom, Volume 2. One More Step, Come Stand By My Side. Then Orb on the Movements of the Earth, Omnibus, Volumes 1 and 2. Origin, Volume 1. Our Last Crusade of the Rise of a New World, Volume 12, light novel. Phantom Thief Red, Volume 1, a brand new heist for a brand new Red. Radiant, Volume 17. Ranga Crimson, Volume 11. Rascal Does Not Dream of His Students, the light novel. And Rascal Does Not Dream of Logical Witch, the manga. Reborn to Master the Blade, From Hero King to Extraordinary Squire, Volume 1, the manga. Sabuki Bisco, Volume 6, the light novel. Then the next one is Saint, No, I'm Just a Passing Beast Tamer, Volume 2, The Immortal Saint and the Quest for Fluff, Volume 1. Then we have Seraph of the End, Volume 28. Shadow House, Volume 5. Cinna Alice, Volume 5. Sugar Apple Fairy Tale, Volume 2. Sunbeams in the Sky, Volume 3. Sword Art Online Alternative Gun Gale Online, Volume 13, the light novel. 5th Squad Jam, the finish. Takopi's Original Sin. The Beginning After the End, Volume 4. The Demon Sword Master of Excalibur Academy, Volume 4. The Dragon Knight's Beloved Manga, Volume 6. The Eminence in Shadow, Volume 8. The Genius Prince's Guide to Raising a Nation Out of Debt, Hey, How About Treason, Volume 11, which this series is a lot of fun. I can't believe how crazy it was when we found out about it, but it is one of those ones where I was like, wow, this series is crazy. Anyway, go on. Next, we have The Great Cleric, Volume 6. The Misfit of Demon King Academy, Volume 2, the light novel. The Reformation of the World is Overseen by a Realistic Demon King, Volume 2. The Saga of Tiny the Evil, Volume 21, the manga. The Suinjin Family Children, Volume 1. The two of them are pretty much like this, Volume 4. The Villainous Turns the Hourglass Volume 1. The World After the Fall Volume 4. Toga Oni Primal Gods in Ancient Times Volume 2. This is the one which has the introduction of the ink drinker. I had to pick it up immediately, and I'm just so happy that they did keep it in there. Next one, 22, which is... Sorry, not 22. This is number 82, actually. Tsubaki Cho Lonely Planet Volume 5. Then we have Val X Love Volume 15. Villains Are Destined to Die Volume 5. Then after this, we have Wandering Witch, The Journey of Elena Volume 12, the light novel. Wave Listen to Me Volume 10. When I Become a Commoner, They Broke Off Our Engagement Volume 1. When Will Ayumu Make His Move Volume 14. Why Relina Ended Up at the Duke's Mansion Volume 5. Yokohama Station SF Volume 3. You Can Have My Back Volume 2, the light novel. Your Turn to Die, Majority Vote Death Game Volume 4. And then last and certainly not least, we have Zom 100, Bucket List of the Dead Volume 12. So these are the titles which came out this week. I know it's a lot, but it's prepping for this long weekend. So tons of stuff to buy and getting ready for Black Friday. So you could buy tons of these really cool mangas to check out. Now, for me personally, here are my top 5 for the week, because I've been doing this as usual. Here are my top 5 titles, definitely pick up. First off, we're starting off with 15 minutes before we really date Volume 1. Like I said earlier, this is one of those ones that I was actually really excited to check out. It seemed unique and different, and more importantly, it's one of those ones where it's a interesting setup. Next, after that, we have Horror Collector Volume 1, The Faceless Kid. This is a horror anthology, and it looks pretty spectacular. Then we have Lord Hades' Ruthless Marriage Volume 1. Gotta love that Hades and Persephone's thing going on, and hopefully this one is just as spectacular. Then we have Origin Volume 1. Don't know what it's about, but it looks amazing. And then last and certainly not least, we have Phantom Thief Red Volume 1, A Brand New Heist for a Brand New Red. This is a readaptation of an old Phantom Thief. I want to see how it goes. There's so much else that came out this week that I was really excited about, but these are the ones that stood out the most. Because obviously Zom 100, I'm picking up. Wave Listen to Me, I'm picking up. Toga One, I picked up. There's so many others. But which are the ones you're most excited about? Let me know. Email me at zanspiraken.com or tweet me at Spiraken. Let me know your thoughts on which of the ones you are most excited about. And so before we go any further, as usual, thank you so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. Every email I get, every comment I get. It gives me more incentive to keep doing this podcast for as long as I can. I'm going to keep pushing it to be the best I can be, to be the best podcaster and make you guys proud. And thank you so much for checking out. I know last week I said that things are going to be a little bit rough and hectic, and I agree. It is going to be a little rough and hectic. Things are going to go a little bit more nuts because I got a promotion and it's holiday season, so it's going to be pretty busy. But don't worry, you're going to be getting some episodes, some other things, and there may be a little bit of a gap for a few weeks during the holiday season, but don't worry. I have a bunch of things planned for next year, and it's going to be a blast because we only have 1 month for then. But let's digress and let's get to the part that you have all been waiting for. And what am I talking about? I am talking about that one, that only, the Wheel of Manga! Yes, friends, the Wheel of Manga, except no substitute. What is the Wheel of Manga? The Wheel of Manga is a Wheel of Fortune with 10 slots on it. And what I've done is I've assigned a manga title to each of the 10 slots, and we're going to spin the wheel. Whatever number it lands on, whatever manga that's there, that's what I'm going to review in the next episode of the Spiraken Manga Review, episode 537. And I'm excited to see what we're going to review this week because we've got some great titles. But let's see. Number 10, 100 Girls Who Really, 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 Really Love You. A harem series which is super harem-y, from what I've heard. So that's kind of cool. So, guess that's it for this episode. As usual, I'm your host, Zan. I am Gonzville. I'll catch you guys next time, and keep reading manga. I'll see you later.